Okay. Woohoo! Happy Saturday. Let's get this party going, right? Sue and Val. I don't know where Anne is. She's supposed to be
Good
here.
morning.
Good morning. Okay, I'm just.
Anne's not gonna be able to make it today. So.
Oh, Anne can't come? Oh.
Anne's busy.
Oh. Okay. Let's go. We're ready. So take it to the back of your mat. Take a nice big deep breath. And then blow it out. Try to take in as much air as you can, really expanding through the rib cage as you breathe. One more time. Nice. Now take the arms by your side. You're going to hip hinge, just halfway down. And then as you come back up this time, sweep the arms directly up to the ceiling. And then back down. And back up. And if you're not feeling any tug behind the legs when you fold forward, make sure your legs are straight and maybe take your torso a tiny bit lower. It should feel like a great stretch. The wider your feet are, the more you're going to get into your inner thighs a little bit. So maybe take them the width of the mat. Now hold this last one up. Try to get tall from the top of the head. So you're trying to lift everything upward. Nice. Okay, take it down. Right arm only. And push that hip out a little bit and get a nice side body stretch going on, and then take it to the other side. We're just going to oscillate between the two sides. So you're not holding or hanging long. You're just kind of bringing movement to the body to get it to wake up on this fabulous Saturday. How lucky are we that we get to do this? One more time on each side. Nice. Now bring the feet hip width apart, and you're just going to march in place. So get the arms involved. We're warming up our hip flexors, getting the heart rate pumping a little bit. Really try to lift your knee up as you move the knee up. Of course, I can't go as fast as you want. Okay, let's just stay here for a few more times. Why not? Okay, now just transition to a butt kick, and this time the arms are going to pull forward and you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together in the back. Really try to get that heel up towards your butt. You're warming up the back and the hammies. Woohoo! Do a few more. Reach the arms out in front, really pull them. Okay, enough of that nonsense. Deep breath. We're going to take a nice slow swan dive all the way down. And you're just going to hang out here for a sec. Let your head go, look through your knees. Now we're going to oscillate between inhaling and lifting up, and then exhaling, folding down. Just keep doing that a few more times. Feeling this in the top part of your glutes. Nice little stretch for the low back. Okay, arms out to the side as you lift the body back up, flip them, reach them all the way up, and let them go. Arms out in front, palms face each other, feet are a little wider than hip width. Make sure you have them in the right line, like in the same line. Now give me a little squat. So to begin, you might limit your range a little bit. Just go where it feels good. It's part of your warm-up. And then when you get the movement pattern down, maybe you go a little deeper. And try to keep your knees nice and stable as you squat. Let's do a few more. Okay, now just fold over. Walk your hands all the way to the front of the mat. Meet me in your plank. And we're going to go between down dog and plank. So when you pull through, make sure you're trying to drive your heels to the floor so you get a nice stretch through your calves.
do about 5 more of these. Make sure you're pressing your entire palm and all fingers into the floor, so you don't carry all the weight in the heel of the hand. Suck in that belly. Now hold your down dog and just alternate lifting and lowering your legs. 1 at a time, of course. Be pretty hard to do it the other way. 2 at a time. So you always want to make sure in this position you can see the sides of your arms. Keep that leg nice and straight when you lift it up. Okay, a couple more. Hold your down dog. Push the heels to the floor. So mine are not actually touching, but I'm trying. Now let's pedal them. So really push one down. And then the other. Getting nice and high on the toes. So you get a little massage for the pad of the foot. Now let's just hold on one side. And hold on the other. And come back to plank. Step your feet into bear. Where are you going, Ben?
It's my shirt.
Step your feet into bear. Hold those knees just above the floor. And now come into a small downward facing dog, where both of your heels are on the floor and your legs are straight. Now elevate nice and high on the toes. And let's take the knees back to hover. Push back up. Draw the heels to the floor. And do it again. Up high and lower. And up with your hips, down with the heels, up high on the toes, cover those knees, just hold here. Now to amp up, you can either hold or you can take the left leg back, keep it straight, kicking it right backwards, bring it forward and switch, kick the other one back and keep alternating. Bear kickbacks, how fun are these? We have a couple more. One more on each leg. Meet back in that small dog. Heels to the floor. Now we're going to walk the feet towards the hands. You're going to come off your wrists, so you're inhaling and looking up. Now we're going to take the tops of the hands and push them to the floor outside your feet. So you get a nice stretch in the forearm. Nice, just hold here, a few more breaths. Okay, hands above the knees, you're going to help yourself come back up to standing. Whew, there we go. Warm-up's done.
Class is over.
Okay. Lateral arm raises and a squat to start. So whatever weight you can use, you've either got those or those. That's the choice.
Excuse me.
I'm sharing. Sharing is caring.
That's the occasion.
Okay, here we go. You ready? So try not to use momentum when you do this. So we're going to squat down, and when we come up, we're going to raise the arms. And then squat down, and then lift. Keep the arms nice and long as they go out to the side. No bends in the elbows. Find your breath. So you're exhaling as you raise up, inhaling on the way down. So let's do 5 more. And 5. Okay, put them down. We're going to do some calf raises. So whatever weights you're using those. Whatever weights you use for a calf raise should probably be the heaviest you have. So up on the toes and down. Just hold the weights by your side. It's nothing fancy, but it's good for our lower legs and feet and ankles. We tend to forget to exercise this part, whoops, of our body. Think about it though. Your feet, and your ankles, your shins and calves are constantly working. Okay, hold it up. Just hold, focus, find your balance, and then take it back down. Now, I want you to just bend your knees. Let the knees come forward of the toes a little bit. If you take your face, look down. You're going to feel a nice stretch into the Achilles. Okay, back up to a straight leg. Give me 10 raises. Try to make sure you're not letting the ankles come out of alignment with the pad of the foot. Whew. Probably starting to feel it right about now. We're going to do one more hold after we get through these 10 reps. It's a good little balance challenge too. Okay, up, hold it. Now try to get as high as you can. Whoops. Take it down. Okay, come all the way down in your butt. We're going to do some flies to start. So pick the right weight. Get a little cooler in here. Okay, you ready? Grab your weights for your flies. You got your butt on the floor and your legs bent. You're gonna have to push to the front. Okay, here we go. We're gonna do just 10 reps to start. So open out nice and wide. Make sure the back of the arms touch the floor. And just get through 10. Keep those wrists nice and neutral, right? So much to think about. So once we get through these 10, we're going to put one of the weights down, unless of course you're limited by how heavy they are. And then we're going to transition to 10 lat pulls where you take the weight behind you with a straight arm. Okay, that's my 10. Now let's transition to a lat pull. So I'm going to hold the ends of my weights. And I'm going to keep my arms nice and straight. Take that weight back behind and pull it forward so it's over the chest. Now I want you to bend at the elbows so the back of the arms touch the floor and your elbows. Press back up and do that lat pull. So it comes forward, arms down to the floor so the weight's right over the chest. And we're just doing 10 in total. Make sure you're not making any or creating any stress in your neck, right? We want to try to keep those ribs nice and low. Actively work your six-pack muscle today. So just keep it pressing down as much as you can while you're breathing. Okay, so I have one more, then my 10 are done. And we're going to do 10 tricep extensions. So here we go. It's an easy transition. The weight's right over your chest. You're just going to bend at the elbow, or it's better really known as a skull crusher. Let the weight come down towards the head, keeping the elbows and shoulders stacked. That's really important if you want to isolate that tricep. So there's no movement between the shoulder and the elbow. That's the rule. Otherwise, you could probably do these forever if you're moving the elbows backwards. Keep that belly going. Once we get done this set of 10, we're going to start from the beginning. We're going to come right back to the flies. So here we go. I'm going to grab my other weight. Right back to your flies. So you got a nice neutral wrist. You got 2 heavy weights. Open up nice and wide and then close like you're hugging a big tree. That's really important today to not over grip the weights. Okay, once you're done your 10, we're going back to that lat pull combined with a press. So elbows down, push up, take the arms all the way back as far as you can, with them staying nice and straight. And let's do 10 of these. Keep your belly working. I can't think of one reason why you wouldn't want to, because I know we can all multitask. Well, Sean, I don't know about Sean. How's that for a good dig? Sean's having trouble breathing over there. Okay, I hope you're counting. You got to do 10 of these. And try to resist the weight when it goes back behind you in that lat pull. Don't just like Speedy Gonzalez, let gravity take over, right? You want to really control and be the boss. Okay, once you've done your 10, easy transition to these skull crushers. Keep your wrist neutral and the elbow to shoulder quiet. They're stacked. So you should almost feel this immediately. In the tricep. Nice and slow on the way down. You can punch it up at any speed, but you want to control the descent. It's just 10, that's it. Working on my last 2. And last 1. Okay. Rock and roll back up, get rid of that weight. We're gonna give our hands and our grip strength a little break from weights. We're gonna work the back of the body, the posterior muscle chain. This is almost like rehab. It's really good for all of us. That's why we do it so much. So little tiny bends in the legs. Feet are hip width. Toes turn into touch. Knees turn into touch. And try to, really challenge this move today by taking the bend and making it as little as is possible. Cup your fingers, lift the arms off the floor. Now, try to do a little pelvic tilt up so you feel the low back pressing into the floor. Might not completely get there, and that's okay. But that's the effort. The next effort is to press your heels into the earth. Push them down. While you hold that push, create a pull of the heels towards the butt. Now, squeeze your knees with all your might. So you got to do all 3 things. You're pushing down, you're pulling towards, and you're squeezing all at the same time.
And just breathe. Make the force as grandiose as you can. Come on, just stay with this. We haven't even lifted our butt up, but I want to stay here for as long as we can so that we really create some fatigue. So just breathe, maybe another 30 seconds, and then instead of lifting the butt up in 30 seconds, we're just going to take a little break. So kill this now. Harder, squeeze harder, press harder, pull harder. Keep those arms off the floor. Nice job. Count to 10 slowly, and you're stretching out these legs. This is building muscle endurance in all these muscles where you're feeling it. Okay, release it. Oh my goodness. Who knew this could feel this good? Take your arms all the way back behind you. Point those toes. Trying to get the body as long as you can. Nice. So this is your reprieve before we amp this exercise up a little bit. So let's bring the arms back down. Fingertips only on the floor with your arms long. Turn your toes into touch. Turn your knees into touch. Pelvic tilt up. Squeeze your knees with all three forces, the push down, the pull, and the squeeze. Just breathe. So the amp up this time is that we are going to attempt to lift our butt up. Once we do, you're going to try to stay up there for 10 seconds. So let's do it. Lift up. Keep the force, keep the squeeze. It's really important. Okay, that's 10 seconds. Nice job. Take it back for a stretch. Oh my goodness. So third time's the charm. So get ready. We're going to come back for round 3. Then we're going to move on. So arms come back, fingertips only. So we're going to create the 3 activations. So toes first, knees, press down, pull towards. Make it as really powerful. Squeeze harder. That's what really powerful means. Squeeze it harder. Okay, this time we're up for 15 seconds. You're doing your own counting. Lift your butt up. Squeeze harder. Press the heels down harder. And pull them towards your butt. Isometrically. So you have 10 seconds left.
I got to do it.
Yeah, you're doing your own counting. I'm just telling you where I'm at. Okay, I got 5, 4, 3,
That's it.
2. Of course you do. Okay. Bend your legs. Roll the pelvis up so you feel the low back completely on the floor. Your legs are bent. Bigger bend than you had previously. Now reverse it. Roll it down. So now I'd be able to put my hand underneath your back. You got a big space there. But while you hold the pelvis rolling down, you're sucking in your stomach to make this an abdominal exercise. Now reverse it. Keep that suck in. Reverse it. So you're pressing the belly down with as much force as you can. Reverse. Keep the belly down. It's really an activation, right? Great job. Okay. Bring both knees into the chest. Massage that low back before we get back up on our feet. Maybe with a little circle. Switch it up. Go the other way. Okay. Rock and roll up. All the way up on your feet. Woo, water break time.
Okay, we're gonna do one round of lateral lunges. Another round of squats and deadlifts, and we're gonna repeat that set 3 times. You're gonna hold weights. So we're gonna start lateral. So I'm gonna turn to face the right side of my room, and I'm gonna come all the way to the front of my mat. I'm gonna start out with the weights at my shoulder, and then I'm gonna switch them if I get tired. Okay, so you do the same. So we're gonna start with that right leg. You're gonna step out nice and wide and come down into a nice lunge squat, push off and come back up. So squat down, you're trying to land it, and then power up. So let's do 10 on this leg. So you're just repeating the same leg. Step out big, get your booty down, step in. You can take the 15s if you want.
Okay.
Okay. So once you've done 10 on this leg, you move to the other end of the mat and you start doing 10 the other way. Okay, so that's it for me. You go all the way to the other end, still facing in the same direction. Just gonna lunge out left, power it back in. Try to get that booty down without folding the upper body too far forward. Two more. Okay, now we're gonna come right into our squats. I'm gonna select a heavier weight. But here we go, right away, start your squats. And from squats, when you've done 10, right to deadlifts. Straight legs, up and down. Keep those weights very close to the body. Spine stays long. Should squeeze your butt cheeks on the way up. Okay, put those down. You got through 1 round. You have 2 more rounds. So I'm going to change the way I'm facing. I'm going to start at the back of the mat.
More?
There's more yet, 2 more rounds, honey. Come on, let's go. So here we go. Shoulder the weights to start. Step out, lunge. Step back in. Just 10. Whoa. When you've done 10, take it to the front of the mat, face the same way. Step out with your other leg, left leg out. Step back in. Okay, last one. Good job. Back to heavier weights if you have an option. Start your 10 squats. Let's go. Remember, butt back. Face up. If you drop your face, it's game over for that upper back. right into your deadlifts when you're done 10. Keep the spine long. That pushes back when you start your descent here. Okay, last one. Whew, that's round 2 done. Time flies when you're having so much fun. Okay, last and final round. So, front of your mat, facing the right side of your room, stepping out right. 10 of them. When you're done, back to the mat, to the back.
Other
They-
side.
Face the same way. Left leg steps out. For 10. Okay, quick transition. Pick up the heaviest weights you got. 10 squats. Deadlifts. Okay. Keep those weights close by. Oh, moving on. We're going to start with rows. We're going to be in a split lunge. We're going to row just with one weight. So, you ready? Whatever you use for a row. Left foot forward. Right leg back. Nice and high on the toes on the back foot. You can take your hand, put it on your front leg, or free float it. You're going to come down. So you're hip hinging and you're just going to row that right side. So you're high on the toes on the back foot. So you're loading most of your weight into that left leg. So you're getting the benefit of the row, but also the work into that left leg. Get that elbow up nice and high. It's just 10. Step your back foot in, switch hands. So now, mostly everything into that right leg. Give me a nice hinge, start your row. Spine is long. Really up on the back foot because you don't want a lot of weight into that back leg. Step in, switch again. We have 3 rounds. Just keep going. Don't wait for me. If you're ready, get it done. High up on that back foot. Switch when you've done your 10. Try not to put your hand on your leg unless you absolutely need help with balance. Whoa. Okay. Really try to pinch that shoulder blade, get the elbow up. Want to make each one of these great. Okay. That was enough fun for the moment. We're getting down on the floor. We're going to do some hip lifts and work while we're in a bridge. So whenever you're ready, have a seat, get yourself into a bridge. Try to get your feet as close to your butt as you can. Press that low back into the floor and then peel up the spine one vertebrae at a time until your hips are up. You got that belly pressing down. Now, feet are hip width apart. If you can step them in a tiny bit closer to the body, do it. But really activate the belly. Just really press it down. Now we're going to take the arms off the floor, hands pointing directly up to the ceiling. Just hold this. Now I want you to bring the knees into squeeze. Feet don't move. While you're squeezing the knees, I want you to come down nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time, just the way you got up. And then repeat it. Peel up while you squeeze your knees. So you're holding that activation the whole time. You're going up and down. It's like 5 counts to get up and 5 counts to get down. So it's fairly slow. Adds a little to the intensity. Why not? Really good for you. Okay, now hold the top. Squeeze with all your might, and then open up. Open wider than hip width. And then bring them back together and squeeze your knees as hard as you can. And just keep repeating that. Open and close. Don't forget the squeeze. It's just not a close. Open and squeeze those knees. And then open and squeeze. Now, of course, you got to work the tummy while you're doing this. We're only doing this for 8 more, and then we're going to transition to clamshells. You are going to feel these butt cheeks singing. Squeeze and release. Open as big as you can with your hips up, and then squeeze and release. Keep going. Don't forget your breath. That 8 was ambitious, but I know we can do it. No quitters here. 4 more. Come on. 4. Open. And 3. Squeeze. And open. And 2. And open. And 1. And lower down. OMG. Hug those knees into the chest. Now, make a nice little circle. Find a feel-good moment here. We deserve it. Whatever feels good. Okay, rock and roll up. You're going to come onto your left side. I'm going to put a little towel under my hip, just because it feels better. So I'm on my side, facing the left side of my room. I'm up on my forearm, just to start, so you can see how you've lined yourself up. And then you're going to lay it down. So your feet are stacked. You got a nice little bend in the legs. And your top hip is right over the bottom one. Don't let it roll backwards. Now stretch it all the way down and just lift your knee up as high as you can
and then close it. And lift. Now you can put your hand by your lower back, just to make sure that that hip is not pushing backwards, because then you're kind of defeating the purpose of this exercise. So up and down. This is a little quicker than what we've been doing in terms of pace. So like lift, lower, lift, keep the hip forward. That's the important activation I'm looking for. So we're going to transition. We're going to do 4 more of these, and then we're going to stay on this side. We're going to transition into a left side low plank. Okay, so you're going to extend your legs long. Come up onto that forearm. Legs are nice and long. You still have your feet stacked. And if you take a look at your heels, line them up with the hip. So you got an and the shoulder. So you have a nice, long, straight line. Then we're going to lift our hips up and lift that right arm up and just hold this plank. The hips up as high as you can get them. You're here only for about 10 seconds. Oh, my elbow today. There we go. 3, 2, and done. Okay, switch over. Opposite side. So remember, staying up on the forearm to get the alignment right. It's always a good idea. Lifting that left leg and lowering it. So keep the heels connected. You take that hand back to the top part of your butt to make sure that that left hip's not rolling back as you lift the knee up. Do each one as hard as you can. Make it as high as you can. Last 3. Then we're coming into that side plank. 2 and 1. Right into your side plank. Very quick transition. Left arm up, just hold. So while you're in a side plank, you want to be thinking, am I really squeezing and lifting and finding as much muscle to help me get through this as possible? Nice, take it down. Okay, another little reprieve on your back. We're going to take the heels to the corners of our mat. We're going to roll down Pilates style, nice and slow. You're rounding your back. Nice, make the movement really slow. Arms go all the way back behind you and then roll yourself up. Chin tucks, tummy pulls down. So this exercise wants you to keep the stomach down the entire time. So just keep oscillating between up and down as slow as you can with as much control as you can. So we have 3 more of these, and then we're going to work our hip flexors a little bit. Often people just stretch their hip flexors, which is good. You should stretch them, but it's also important to strengthen them. So we're going to work on that. I have 1 more of these to do. So once you're sitting up, you're going to take the hands right behind you. Just have your fingertips pressing on the floor. We're going to start with the left leg. So your heels go to the corners of the mat. So you're almost sitting in what you would know as your staff pose. Lift the left leg up and move it over to the right heel. Lift it up and move it back to the corner of your mat. So bring it up and across and up and back. We have 10 of these. Now try to stay strong through the core here. So I don't want you sinking into that low back and creating any stress there. This is working that muscle right in the hip flexor. So once you've done your 10, we're going to start the other leg. This is my good leg. I could do these all day long. Get it nice and high.
Keep that tummy pressing in. We are gonna stretch these out after, so don't worry. Okay. Flip the feet around. Come up for a nice stretch. So I'm gonna use my towel under my right knee. Just to make it a little cushier. I'm gonna step my left foot forward. Let the hips come forward. So you feel a nice big opening right here in the front. Now take your hands behind your ears, hollow out the belly, pull the elbows backwards. So you feel the upper back pinching together. Now from here, you're just gonna fold forward. So you're gonna hip hinge, come down, and right back up. And just keep oscillating between the two. Nice, one more. Okay, let's switch. So put the towel under your left knee, step your right foot out, let the hips come forward so you first get this nice release. Let's get the hands behind the back, behind the ears, just touching your ears lightly. Pull the elbows back. You want to activate that upper back. Fold forward with a long spine and right back up. While you fold forward, you're trying to keep the elbows back, right? So this should feel challenging. Just a few more. When you come up, make sure you're bringing your shoulders over the hips. So you're coming up to a nice proud chest. One more, why not? Okay. We're going to stay here and do some cat-cows. So tuck your toes under. Knees are hip width. Round your back. Relax your head so you're just looking at your knees. And then fall into the shoulders, take your gaze forward. And then just keep oscillating between the two. Let's do a few more. Okay, off the knees, walk your hands all the way back, meet me in a forward fold. So you're unweighting absolutely the entire upper body. Get good blood flow to your face. Take a few more deep breaths. I know we're out of time. We're over time. I'm so sorry. Palms above your knees, unhinge. Woo. Reach and lift. Reach your arms all the way up. And I thank you very much for your power and strength. High five. High five, high fives. Woo, we did it. We're done. How are you, ladies?